Hey, what is up guys? You're tuned in to the Pharaoh's Vessel once again here on YouTube, and today I'm bringing you a deck profile for my Ghostrick deck. Unfortunately, I feel like I should start off and apologise for not posting in over a week. I had a bit of bad news last week, kind of left me knocked for six, if you like, for a few days. I'm doing better now though, so we're all good. And just to finish this bit off, if you can like and subscribe to the video, it'll allow me to bring you more videos in the future, guys. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to go straight into the video. This is a Ghostrick deck. Well, my Ghostrick deck. Right, so first up for the Ghostrick deck, I bring you 3 copies of Ghostrick Skeleton. Most of the Ghostrick monsters all have the same effect of cannot be normal summoned unless you control a Ghostrick monster, and once per turn you can change this card to face down defense position when the card is flipped face up. For this one especially, flipped face up. Banish cards from the top of your opponent's deck face down up to the number of Ghostrick monsters you control. You can only use the effect of Ghostrick Skeleton once per turn, so a bit of a burn if you like. Next up we have 3 copies of Jianshi. So these are all now particularly in order of level, so you can see that there is in fact nothing over 3. After Jianshi, her little bit of effect states that when this card is flipped face up, you can add from your deck to your hand 1 Ghostrick monster whose level is less than or equal to the number of Ghostrick monsters you control. You can only use the effect of Ghostrick Jianshi once per turn. Next up we have 3 copies of the Warwolf. This card is flipped face up. Inflict 100 damage to your opponent for each set card on the field. You can only use the effect of Ghostrick Warrior once per turn. It doesn't actually say, it just says when this card is flipped face up. So I suppose if you flip it face up, or your opponent flips it face up, that's going to sting. Next up we have 3 copies of Ghostrick Yeti. His effect states when the cards flip face up, you can target 1 Ghostrick monster on the field, and this turn it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. 3 copies of Ghostrick Stein, however you want to pronounce it. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can add 1 Ghostrick spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use the effect of Ghostrick Stein once per turn. And next up we have 2 copies of Ghostrick Mummy, which allows you to, while the cards face up on the field, you can normal summon 1 Ghostrick monster in addition to your normal summon or set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. And finally for 3s, is the Ghostrick Ghoul. His states that you could target 1 Ghostrick monster you control. Its attack becomes equal to the combined original attack of all Ghostrick monsters currently on the field until the end of your opponent's next turn, but if it does, only that monster can attack this turn. Moving on, next we're now in the level 2s, so we have 3 copies of Nekomusumi. You can change this card face down defense position once per turn. When a level 4 or higher monster is normal or special summoned, change that monster to face down defense position. There must be another Ghostrick monster on the field to activate and to resolve the effect. Next up we have 3 copies of Ghostrick Yuki Onna, who states that when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can change the monster that destroyed it to face down defense position, and if you do, it cannot change its battle position. It's a nice little one if someone's got a lot stronger monsters than you. 3 copies of Ghostrick Witch. Once per turn you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, change it to face-down defense. And then 2 copies of Ghostrick Doll. Special summon 1 Ghostrick monster from your deck with face-down defense position, whose level is less than or equal to the number of monsters flipped face-down by this effect. Then moving in next, we have the level 1s. I've got 3 copies of Spectre. You can special summon this card from your hand in face-down defense position, and if you do, draw 1 card. 1 copy of Jack Frost, which I'm going to eventually boost to 2 when I get round to it. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can change that opponent's monster to face-down defense position, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand in face-down defense position. And finally, 1 copy of Ghostrick Mary, who states that you can discard this card and special summon 1 Ghostrick monster from your deck in face-down defense position. You can only use this effect of Ghostrick Mary once per turn. So, that's the monsters. Quite a heavy monster deck. To be honest with you, I believe this deck needs it more than anything, because it doesn't really have much of a support in the way of spells and traps. So, I believe that, you know, it needs more monsters to keep itself going. Coming up next is the spell cards. So yeah, moving on. I'll bring you the spells, but I'm going to do spells and traps together. Seeing as it's pointless just doing the actual spells, so I'll do both together. Starting off the spells, we have 3 copies of Ghostrick Museum, which states monsters you control except Ghostrick monsters cannot attack. Monsters cannot attack face-down defense position monsters. You can attack directly if all monsters their opponent controls are face-up defense position, or face-down defense position rather. At the end of the damage step, change any monster that inflicted battle damage to a player during this battle to the face-down defense position. I also have 3 copies of Ghostrick Mansion. Monsters cannot attack face-down defense position monsters, but can attack directly if all monsters their opponent controls a face-down defense position. All effect damage and battle damage inflicted by monsters other than Ghostrick monsters is halved. I have 2 copies of Ghostrick Parade. Monsters cannot attack face-down defense position monsters, but can attack directly if all monsters their opponent controls a face-down defense position. Your opponent takes no damage. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can add 1 Ghostrick card from your deck to your hand. I have 1 copy of Set Rotation, which allows you to set 2 field spell cards with different names from your deck on the field. 1 on your side, 1 on your opponent's. While either of those cards remain set on the field, neither player can activate or set other field cards. And to finish it off, I have 1 copy of the Book of Moon. Target 1 face-up monster on the field, change it to face-down defense. Next up, I've got the traps. Starting with 3 copies of Ghostrick Vanish. Reveal 1 Ghostrick monster in your hand. This turn, Ghostrick cards you control and face-down defense position monsters you control cannot be targeted by or destroyed by card effects. Then I bring you 3 copies of Ghostrick Scare. Target any number of face-down defense position monsters you control. Change them to face-up defense position. Count the number of Ghostrick monsters among them, and if you do, change up to that many face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position. I also have 3 copies of Ghostrick Break. When exactly one face-up Ghostrick monster you control and no other cards is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, target 2 Ghostrick monsters in your graveyard with different names from a destroyed monster. Special summon them in face-down defense position. Then we have 2 copies of Ghostrick Knight. While a Ghostrick monster is on the field, your opponent cannot flip summon. When this card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card and sent to the graveyard, your opponent cannot declare attacks for the rest of his turn. 2 copies of Ghostrick Go Round. Once per turn during the battle phase, you can activate one of these effects. 1. Target 1 Ghostrick monster you control. Change that target to face-down defense position. If you do, change 1 face-down defense position monster your opponent controls to face-up attack. Or 2. Target 1 face-down defense position monster you control. Change that to face-up attack position. And if it is a Ghostrick monster, change 1 face-up monster your opponent controls to face-down defense position. And to finish it off, we have 1 copy of Mirror Force and 1 copy of the Fiendish Chain. Basically, as you can see, it's not really heavy with spells and traps compared to the monster ratio, but the monsters do exactly what they need to do anyway, and they just bounce back and forth with each other. Coming up next, we have the extra deck. So, nice and easy. The extra deck consists of 4 cards. I'll be boosting it shortly, putting 1 or 2 extras in of the same cards. But we have 1 copy of, at the moment, Ghostrick Alucard, 1 copy of Ghostrick Succubus, 1 copy of Ghostrick Angel of Mischief, and 1 copy of Ghostrick Dullahan. I'm not going to go into the effects and stuff of what they do. Basically, to bring out Alucard, you require 2 level 3s. Succubus is 2 level 2s. Ghostrick Angel of Mischief, which might as well come out to be honest, because it states it needs 2 level 4 monsters. And then you've got Dullahan, which takes 2 level 1s. Seeing as I don't actually have any level 4s in there, it's probably pointless that actually being in. But then again, saying that, I've got a couple of cards on my eBay watch list at the moment. I'll have to have a look through and see if they're any good. But yeah, basically guys, that is the deck. That is what I'm using for my Ghostricks. I'm currently in the process of building a Harpy deck, Red Eyes deck, and I've almost completed my Blue Eyes deck as well. So that'll be going up as a profile shortly. Along with the Red Eyes obviously, and when it's completed, the Harpy deck. So there's something for you to look forward to. I've also got the cards over there for a Gaia deck, but whether I get around to actually building the Gaia deck is completely different at the moment. Hoping to bring some debates and stuff in soon, maybe 1 or 2 duels as well. So yeah, for now I'll leave it there and get this video uploaded as quick as I can. And once again, if you like the video, or well, even if you didn't like the video, could you please like and subscribe? All the likes and subscribes at the moment mean a lot to me. I could really use them to boost the channel up a bit, and the more likes and subscribes I get, the better off the videos are going to be, and it'll allow me to get more stuff in, and because I know that it's what you want. Even if you want to, guys, just leave a comment below. Tell me what you want to see, and I'll try my best to do what I can to get a video knocked up for that as well. But for now, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Catch you soon.